Hello, I'm Alyssa with Student Academic Success Services, and I'm your host of the weekly writing workshop series called Write Nights. This past week, we looked at academic phrases and tried to answer the question, how can I sound more like an academic in my writing? We know from research that it's much more effective to think about discipline-specific academic language as opposed to some singular general academic language. Every discipline uses words in different ways, and so as you're developing your academic language skills, you want to think about the way scholars in your field of study use words to describe key terms, concepts, ideas, and topics. There are three key strategies that are fairly consistent across all fields of study. No matter what you're writing about, most academics try to be concise, use hedges and boosters, and to narrow their scope. When we talk about concision, we're talking about conveying a message with the most effective, clear, and accurate words to fully describe an idea. So to be concise in your writing, you want to avoid vague, value-laden, emotional, or subjective words, and instead use words that are clear and explicit and leave little room for interpretation. Hedges and boosters are words that show the emphasis or extent to which something you're talking about can be applied. So boosters show certainty and leave little room for other views. Some examples include must or always or absolutely, while hedges do the opposite and they express caution or limit a perspective. So some hedging words include possibly or somewhat or perhaps. And it's important to note that expert writers tend to use hedges much more frequently than new academic writers. And throughout academic writing, we tend to see a nice balance of hedges and boosters. Hedging and boosting is closely related to the idea of scope. Scope is what we do to indicate precision and focus in our writing, as well as to stay engaged with the world of research. So typically in academic writing, we're not talking about things in a general way or commenting on the world at large, but rather we're talking about something very specific and showing how it's relevant to the discourse of our discipline or field of study. Scope words are often qualifiers, so modifying words like adjectives, and they also often have to do with either geography or time, showing specifically where or when something has happened. So with these three key strategies in mind, you can start to think about how you can develop your own academic vocabulary and start looking at your discipline to see how scholars in your field specifically use words to show concision, to boost or to hedge their arguments, and to narrow that scope. If you're interested in seeing how this plays out in practice, take a look at the next video where we apply these strategies to a paragraph to make improvements specifically related to academic language. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next video.